Remember as a kid when you used to play hide and seek and your friends went inside without telling you? Then, like 10 minutes later, you finally came out and couldn't find anybody? That is exactly how your website feels. People are searching for home builders and remodelers near them, but you're so far down the list, they're not able to find you. And by the time they do, they already ate all the ice cream sandwiches. Sorry, that part might not be as relevant, but you get the idea. The good news is that getting search engines to recommend your website is easier than ever in 2026. You don't need a lot of dollars, you don't need a massive agency's help, and you don't need a ton of backlinks. You need 3 boring habits done consistently, and boring SEO is what pays the bills. My name is Tommy Gilmore. I own Noisy Bird Digital Marketing, and for the last 4 years, we've been helping service businesses grow. Something that we found is our contractor friends really are the ones that need the most help, but also that they have the most room for quick wins in their industry. You don't need to be waiting 12 or 18 months most of the time to start to see wins with SEO. Sometimes 3, even 6 months, and you can be ranking consistently well in your area and getting good leads coming from Google. Here are the 3 ongoing steps that 90% of our contractor clients are skipping. 1. A weekly Google Business Profile post. 2. A blog that answers real homeowner questions. And 3. A basic site cleanup so Google can actually crawl and trust you. And I'll show you what that looks like on the 2 tools that we use, Local Falcon and Screaming Frog. By the way, this video is not sponsored. These are just tools that we use, we love to use them, and I'm going to walk you through exactly why we do that. As I mentioned, we've been doing this for 4 years, and we do this every day for our clients. If you do this consistently for the next 60 to 90 days, you'll see real movement, especially in your competitive local maps. I'll show you exactly what tools we use to see what's moving the needle and what strategies just aren't working. For most contractors, you probably have set up your Google Business Profile, but you do that one time and then think about it every 6 months when Google sends you an email, right? That's how most people view it. What most people don't realize is that an active Google Business Profile listing signals to Google that you are alive, you are a real business, and pro tip, you can tell Google you are the expert using this page. Here's how you do it. You have to post 1 update per week. This can be a before and after, a project highlight, or ask and answer a question. It can be something basic. We'll go through that in a second. You need to upload 5 to 10 pictures per week. Show your job site. Show your subs working. Show what a day in the life looks like in a video. All of those things can be very valuable. Got a new truck wrap you're excited about? Show that off. Went mudding on Monday? Don't show that off. People don't care. That doesn't tell Google you're an expert. Make sure it's relevant to the business, but make sure that you're providing value for people on your page. I'm going to show you exactly what that looks like. So down here, when I Google home builders in Southern Utah, that's where I live, you can see right here they have updates. This is the top result that comes up organically, Cedar Point Homes right here. So they have a semi-active profile, and they are listed as first. They don't have the most reviews. They have 45. These guys have 73. And these guys have, I believe, about the same, 28. So none of these guys are actually blowing it out of the water. But these guys do have a semi-active page 6 days ago and then back to October. And then speaking of reviews, that's something else that you need to be doing. You need to be asking for at least 2 reviews every week. These guys are probably getting a review a month or maybe even less than that. And they're listed at the top. It's probably the same in your local area. Seriously, check. Most home builders are not doing SEO. Like I said in the top, there's a ton of opportunity to grow in this space. If they have under 100, you can very quickly catch up to them. If you get 2 every week, that's 104 this year. So I'm not kidding. Like, you can very quickly get to the top of Google just by following a few simple steps. So when you look at these posts and you're wondering, well, what do I even write in these? You can write anything that you want, but it shouldn't just be Happy Monday. It should be what people search for. Things like, what does a kitchen remodel timeline look like in this city? What does a bathroom remodel cost in this city? Permits, who pulls them, and why that matters. If you want to check out our checklist, it'll give you some prompts and some different ideas. You can find that description in the link below. It's a totally free resource to help you check out your marketing. The next step you're probably not doing yet is to have a blog or a learning center on your website. Blogging only works when it answers money questions, those things that people put into Google. Your blog shouldn't just highlight your projects or what you're thinking about. They should answer questions and make it look like you're the expert in that space. This is a client that we've been working with over the last 12 months or so. We helped them with their rebrand, and then every week we've been helping them post a new blog that helps them appear like they are the expert in the field. So what you do is you pick one topic cluster at a time. That can be kitchen remodel, and then you build out. You need to have a main page about kitchen remodeling in your city, and then you have 3 to 5 support blogs. Kitchen remodel cost in my city, kitchen remodel timeline, permits for kitchen remodel in this county, custom cabinets versus stock, how change orders should work. Here's what you need to look for your blog. You should have a contractor keyword formula. It can be service and city, like you see here, new home construction in Cedar City. It can be service and cost. It can be service and timeline. It can be best service in the city. It can be just something near me. That's usually maps focused, but it's still relevant. Having that keyword on your website or calling out specific locations can be very helpful. Tools that you can use is the Google autocomplete or people also ask button. You can check out the Google Search Console. Google Search Console is a free app that almost nobody's using if they're not in SEO. But you can run a free report, see how you're ranking for different keywords, and see what opportunities exist for you to be ranking. If you want to go deeper, you can use tools, but you don't have to get paralyzed or feel like you have to spend a ton of money. Your advantage isn't a secret tool. It's doing the basics every single week while your competitors don't. If this feels overwhelming to you, it also feels overwhelming to your competitors, and that's the secret. That's why if you do them, you'll just get ahead of them so quickly. All right, and again, I want to emphasize this video is not sponsored by Screaming Frog or any of the other tools that I talk about. These are just the tools that we use in my agency almost every day because it's just a great tool. We do have the paid version of Screaming Frog, but for you, you don't need to, because you can see on the crawl limit, you get up to 500 URLs. Chances are pretty good, unless you have a very large website, you don't need more than 500 URLs that you crawl on your website. So it talks about your broken links. It's going to analyze your page titles and metadata. It's just going to give you an overview of all of the things that you need to know. And at the core of it, without getting too technical, I don't want to make this like a really technical video. That's really complicated for you to comprehend. But what you need to look at are broken links. If it says 404 redirects or a broken link or anything like that, you need to fix that. Take that page off your website, because Google just will not rank your website if you have a bunch of broken links on there. Every core page should have a unique title, one clear H1 tag, and a basic meta description. And those can have keywords in them. In fact, they very much should. If you want your H1 tag for your homepage to be contractor in blank or kitchen remodeler in city, that is a great H1 tag for your homepage if that's the main service that you want to offer. It will also tell you if you need to compress giant images, if you're missing alt tags or anything like that. If Google hits broken pages, duplicate titles, or missing heading, it's like walking onto a job site and just not having the plans. Stuff is still getting built, but it's just a lot slower and a lot messier, and Google's just going to rank you lower. It has no idea what you do. These are all opportunities for you to clean up your website and figure out exactly what is missing from your website to stop you from being on top of your competitors. And that's the beauty of it, is you don't have to really necessarily even be in the top 3 in an industry like contracting, because so many of your competitors are not picking up their phones. So let's take a look at exactly what to do to get ranking on maps and how Local Falcon, our second tool, again, not sponsored, helps us clean it up. The great part about Screaming Frog is that it is free. Local Falcon has a small monthly fee, but it's probably the best tool out there, bang for your buck. I believe it's $25 a month or something like that. Seriously, it's an amazing tool, and if you're watching and you want to sponsor this, please do. I'd love that. Next, we're going to look at Local Falcon, which is the second tool that we use to help understand where you stand with your ranking. Local Falcon focuses specifically on your Google business profile listing, which we already went over how to make it better, but it's also important that you know what progress are you making. So Local Falcon, it's $25 a month is your starting amount. Very much worth it if you're going to invest in SEO for yourself. And doing it yourself, you really need to know what's working and what's not. So what you do is you come in here to quick scan or campaign scan. You're going to put in the name of your business, and then you're going to find, if you want to look on Google Maps, Google Gemini, Google AI, ChatGPT, Grok, Apple Maps, you can choose where you want to be looking and where you want to be auditing. You can choose your radius, what the grid looks like, etc. And then what you're going to get is it's going to spit out a report, and that report looks a little something like this. So you can see when we look at this client, we're looking at their 20-mile radius around the city where they live. And you can see we have a 4, we have a 2, and then everything else is the second page of Google. And so that gives us an idea of where we stand for roof repair, which is obviously very important if you're a roofer. So we're just taking a look at their average rating, average top of page rating, like absolute top of page, and then their share of local voice is what that's called. And it gives you a bunch of data, gives you an idea of what it could look like, and then it gives you an AI analysis report and some recommendations. So areas that you could look at to improve your standing. And so it's great because not only does it tell you where you stand currently, but it also gives you an idea of the things that you need to be focusing on. Like I said, this is exactly the tool that we use when we're analyzing our clients. It gives us a major edge over what a lot of the competitors are doing, and it just really paints us a picture of this is where people stand. This is what our clients look at right now. So it's great. You can stop guessing. You can gather inspiration about your various competitors. It shows you some different competitors right here, where they're vulnerable and how to overtake them. And then it gives you business information about the other one so that you can take a look at their business profiles and see what are they doing that I'm not, how do I get to where they are, things like that. And so you can see like their average ranking compared to yours and all that. It's a great tool. We really like using it. So if you're weak in a zone, obviously you want to add relevant service area content to there. So if there's like a specific neighborhood that you want to be working in, you can add that. You can increase your photo and post consistency. And again, you want to be focusing on getting good reviews over time. If you're shooting for 2 a week, you're just going to blow your competition out of the water. You want to make sure your categories and services are correct and that you've optimized each of those. And then you also want to increase your proximity signals in the right way. So things like geotagged photos and a few other things like that really just help your audience and Google to understand who you are, where you work, and who you like to work with. If you can focus on making these 3 things a weekly habit, updating your Google business profile, writing a helpful blog that people are searching for, and doing something on your site that cleans it up, you'll be ahead of almost every contractor in your area because, let's be honest, they're stuck in the 20th century. Doing these things isn't going to feel sexy. It's not going to lead to instantaneous growth or a bunch of phone calls next week, but it's exactly what companies are paying us to do for them because it works. Where people usually are looking for the most help is in implementation. They want us to build the pages, write the content, track the results, and keep it consistent month after month. Something that's great is that every builder website we look at says the words quality craftsmanship. Somehow, every single one. So the content that we use isn't just about quality craftsmanship, it's about things that truly convert and show that you are the expert. We're helping take your digital footprint and turn it into money for your business. So if all of this feels really overwhelming, but you still are bent on doing it yourself, what's great is we've got a full checklist that helps you evaluate not just your SEO, but your ads, your automation, your website, Google Business Profile, all of it. And you can download it completely free using the link that's down in the description. I'm going to send you some follow-up emails after you receive it. And if you reply to me and say, hey, here's where I'm weakest right now in my business, I will reply to your emails with 1 or 2 quick wins and show you the opportunities that lie in your business to be able to grow and blow your competition out of the water this year. This has been Tommy with Noisy Bird Digital Marketing. I'm looking forward to helping you grow, and we'll see you in the next video.